What is going on? YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. How's everybody doing tonight? This is another episode of 717 Spat Live, and I am your host, Marcus J. How's everybody in the 717 and abroad doing tonight? It turned out to be a rainy day. It was really, really hot at first earlier today here in York, but then all of a sudden we got a whole bunch of rain, and it's a little bit ugly out there as well. It's also that's why I decided to go on a little bit later, because sometimes, when it rains or whatever, connection might lag up a little bit. And it's kind of, in a way, kind of doing it now. You know what I mean? But it's not too bad. You know what I mean? So I wanted to get this video out here tonight, before the night ends, etc. But this is another episode of 717 Sports Chat Live. Once again, I'm your host, Marcus J., and we have a couple sports topics that we're going to touch on today. We got some NBA topics. We got some NFL topics I want to touch on, as well as some boxing and MMA topics, pretty much the usual. That's what I like to cover mostly on the show, is MMA, boxing, basketball, etc. But once again, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as well as share my videos if you like them. Support is greatly appreciated. All right, so we're going to start off today's show. The first topic of the day is going to come from NBA news. We got three topics coming out of the NBA, and the first one I want to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks is apparently interested in trading for Ben Simmons. Now, everybody knows, the Ben Simmons situation in Philadelphia has turned sour. Apparently, Ben has cut off contact with the team. Now, according to Tyrese Maxey, that's not entirely true, like with Ben, etc. But in terms of Joel Embiid, the front office, the main cogs in the Philly organization, since the postseason, and it's been a well-known fact that Philadelphia has been actively shopping Ben Simmons. So apparently, the Dallas Mavericks are interested in Ben Simmons, and me personally, I don't like the move for Dallas. I don't think Ben Simmons fits at all. For the simple fact is, Ben Simmons is a guy who has to have the ball. Excuse me. He has to have the ball in his hands, and to a degree, he can't shoot. But he shoots. Says videos, numerous offseason videos. So maybe, like I said before on the show, maybe that's just a thing. He just don't want to play in Philly, so maybe he's not showing his full potential. But from what I've seen out of Ben Simmons, it's just not a good fit. You got Luka Doncic bringing the ball up the court. Ben hasn't really showed he can play well off the pick and roll. He hasn't showed well that he can shoot well enough. Most important thing. So in terms of a fit for Dallas, I just don't agree that Ben Simmons is a really good fit in Dallas. You have Luka Doncic, who's about the same size, who's bringing the ball up the court. You just signed him to, obviously, max, etc. He's your guy who's pushing the ball up the court. He's your star. And Ben Simmons, like I said, he just hasn't shown that he can shoot well enough and create without, off the ball well enough to be a fit. I can't see Ben Simmons coming off screen or pick and rolls and jacking up, shooting, or hitting threes. I just can't see it. So me personally, I don't think this is a good fit for Dallas. I just don't. Now, if Ben's obviously going to show his full potential and maybe possibly be like, okay, I'll go to the 3 or the 4, and just instead of, using his facilitating abilities from, the top of the key, maybe he uses it from the post and from, in the paint. That situation, but I still don't think it's a fit. I just don't think that's Ben's game. Ben's game is like a LeBron, like a Magic Johnson. He's athletic enough, and he's got the, the passing ability and the vision on the court to where he can push the ball up the court. And Dallas don't need that. They got Luka Doncic for that. So, I don't think this is a good fit for the Dallas Mavericks. But I want to know what you guys think. We got 2 people watching this so far. Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about the Dallas Mavericks being interested in Ben Simmons. Do you guys think that this would be a good trade for the Mavericks? Do you think Ben Simmons would be fit for the Mavericks? Or do you think it would be a bad fit for them based on the fact that Ben Simmons in Philadelphia has shown that he's not really that well of a shooter, and he really doesn't really play without the ball in his hands. You don't see Ben Simmons playing off the ball that often. So the Dallas Mavericks being interested in trading for Ben Simmons, I want to know if you guys think it's a good fit, or do you agree with me that it would be a bad fit? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. As well as don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to move on to the next NBA topic I put together. And that is it's a funny topic, but it's actually, I like it. It's, if it's what he wants to do, let him go do it. He's already accomplished enough in the NBA. And we're going to talk about J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is reportedly now enrolled as a college student at the historically black College of North Carolina A&T, and apparently wants to play for the golf team. Now, from what I was reading about in this article on ESPN, he's obviously got to get permission from the NCAA. He's got to wait to get permission from them to get the okay to play on the NCAA golf team. But it's worth to note that J.R. Smith has been an avid golfer for many, many years now. So now that it's obvious his NBA career is over. He didn't really. The last time we seen him play was for the Lakers when their championship season in the bubble. That was the last time you seen J.R. Smith play. And ever since, there hasn't really been much fanfare to see him back in the league. And no teams really came knocking. So I think this is a good chance at a second career for J.R. Smith. If this is what he wants to do, this is what he loves to do with basketball, hey, go for it. Why not? You're never too old to do anything. And he's still fairly young. He's in like his mid-30s. He's not even 40 yet. So, and he's he's an athlete, and he's in great physical shape, which have to be for a sport, especially like golf. I mean, I won't say you have to be, but you've seen some of the more successful guys, in golf, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, they're athletes. They have a little bit of a build on them, so I think this is a good move for J.R. Smith. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a cool thing. I mean, me myself is wanting to try out golf. Just to, try something new. So might be something I'm gonna get on here soon. And follow J.R. Smith a little bit. But you see the caption: J.R. Smith is at A&T, wants to play golf, wants to play on the golf team. Once again, he has to get permission from the NCAA for this to happen. That's not entirely true that could happen. They might revoke him based on his age, etc., etc. But be that as it may, hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this topic of J.R. Smith enrolling at A&T. And do you guys think that he will make the golf team? Do you think the NCAA will approve him to get on the golf team? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about J.R. Smith enrolling at A&T and playing golf for the college. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe too. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. But hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this topic. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And we're going to move on to our last NBA topic that I put for today. And that is female coach and former WNBA player and future, if she's not already in the WNBA Hall of Fame. Hammond, assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs. It's been a long rumor that Becky Hammon is possibly could end up the first ever female coach coaching in the NBA. But as you read in the caption, and I love this, what she said, hire me on merit, not just to check a box. I really like what she said about hiring her just on merit, not just to check out a box. I really like this one by Becky Hammon. Hire her because she deserves to be hired and that her credentials speak for itself. Don't just hire her because, oh, well, we want to show that we're diversifying our league, so we're just going to check that box of the first female coach in NBA history. I don't like that itself. You should be hired based on your performance and based on your credentials and your experience. And I've been an avid supporter of Becky Hammon getting hired. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she can't coach men. You see men coach women. If men can coach women, women can coach men. But I like what Becky Hammon says here. Hire me on merit. Hire me on credentials. Hire me on my experience. Don't hire me just to check the diversity box and check the NBA coach. Hire me because, I've earned it, and my credentials and my experience speak for itself. Don't just hire me to say, oh, hey, look, we hired a female coach, you guys. So now you guys can't say nothing about it anymore. I totally agree with Becky Hammon on this. But I want to know what you guys think. Hit the comment section and let me know what you guys think about Becky Hammon's comment about an NBA team hiring her based on her merit, based on her credentials, based on her experience coaching behind Greg Popovich on the NBA sidelines, her experience playing basketball in the WNBA and in Russia, etc., where she's originally from, where she was born. Not just to check, a gender equality box. Hit the comment section. I want to know if you guys like this statement made by Becky Hammon. I do. I like it a lot. Don't just hire somebody just because you want to say, oh, we hired her to be the first women's coach in NBA history, just to say that. Hire her because she's earned the right to be on that sideline. Hire her because you think she can win your team some basketball games and maybe even championships. That's what you're supposed to hire any coach, whether they're male or female, for. So I totally agree with Becky Hammon on this situation in her quest to become the first women's coach in NBA history. I totally agree with this with her. Hire her on merit. Hire her on her experience and her credentials. Don't just hire her because she's a woman and she'd be the first woman to be in charge of running the sidelines of an NBA basketball team. But I want to know what you think. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think on Becky Hammon's comment. Do you agree with her that she shouldn't just be hired on merit? I mean, that she should just be hired on her merit and her experience? Or do you think the league will just hire her basically just to check that box and say, hey, we hired a woman's coach? So now, all the women out there can stop complaining. This session, I want to know if you guys like coming based on her experience and her. I get to hit the button. And before we move on to the next topic, I am going to take a short break, and I will be right back with you shortly. All right, and we are back. And this is 717 Sports Chat Live with your host, Marcus J. How's everybody doing tonight? We just covered the NBA topics for the day, and now we are going to move on to a couple NFL topics that I wanted to talk about on today's show. And that's including the biggest news to me in NFL news today, and that's Carson Wentz, Indianapolis Colts quarterback, is on court in week one, as well as offensive tackle Quentin, including my start prospects, would be out for at least longer than we thought. We would at least take the full 12 weeks. They said he would be out 5 to 12 weeks with a broken bone in his foot. He could just get surgery for it. He did surgery on that foot. But as we know, usually stuff like this takes longer than, they gave it a diagnostic of 5 to 12 weeks. Usually to play it safe, usually players would at the least take 9 weeks. It would take 9 weeks. But Carson Wentz apparently is on course to play in week one, which is a big update for the simple fact is, that's a risk. That's a very big risk. Apparently he's been doing some drills and he got the surgery and his foot's not bothering him. And they haven't played preseason yet, so they do have, a whole nother month. So by the time he'll be ready to play, the 5 to 12 weeks will be up. So at least he'll be healed for 5 weeks. But me personally, I still think that's a calculated risk given his injury history. Given Carson Wentz's injury history, I don't like this. I don't like this at all for the Colts. I don't like this for Carson Wentz. I think he's rushing back entirely too soon. And this is how you're going to get yourself either re-aggravate that injury or possibly worse. And the same goes for offensive tackle Quentin Nelson. Because the same could be said for Quentin Nelson because he's a big guy. He's an offensive tackle. All that weight coming down that foot, you got to give it proper time to heal. These aren't just men. These are athletes. Carson Wentz is 6'6", 240. All that weight coming down on that foot, you got to give that foot a proper timing to heal. And me personally, I just don't think 5 weeks is long enough. I don't. Especially given his injury history with his legs, etc. before. Now, granted, this is a broken bone in his foot, but it's still part of your leg. So it's like, me personally, I think he's rushing back. I think Carson Wentz is taking a very, very calculated risk of re-injuring that foot, as well as offensive tackle Quentin Nelson. But I'm really saying Carson Wentz because obviously he's their big trade. He's their big trade they got this offseason. He's the guy that they think can take them to the Super Bowl with this team that they have. They do have a very, very good team. They have the pieces built to compete for a title around him. But me personally, I think that I think he should have waited out to at least week 2 or week 3 to come back. Stay out for 9 weeks. Let this heal properly. Let this injury heal properly because, like I said, you're coming back and you're going right in. 5 weeks to 12 weeks, I would take 9. I would have took 9 weeks. But I've heard one decision. It's his career. It's his body. So ain't nothing else I could say but, just kind of give my opinion on it. But I want to know your guys' opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Are you surprised? Are you surprised as much that Carson Wentz is coming early? Offense the right choices by coming back after 5 weeks, and that their injuries, they had the same injury, that their injuries will be healed up in time enough for the regular season. Me, that especially And then rush in. Know what you got. All right, we're gonna move on to our next subject. And this one's a little personal. So obviously I was fishing, for some topics and shit today. And I stumbled across this where obviously I'm a big Raiders fan, so I'm in the Raiders channels, blogs, everything, every single day, checking out for news, etc., that I might want to talk about on the show. So one I found very, very, very interesting in particular was my quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr, was quoted saying he hopes to play as long as Tom Brady, which is obviously Tom Brady's goal to play till he's 45 years of age. Everybody knows that in the NFL. And he's on course to do so as long as he stays healthy this year as well as last year he did and won a Super Bowl. So as long as Tom Brady stays healthy this year, he will be playing till he's 45. But Derek Carr, my quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, has stated that he wants to play till he's 45 like Tom Brady. Well, Max, why is this interesting to you? Why this is interesting to me is because, as we all know, unfortunately, Derek Carr and my Raiders have not been really anything good since 2016. We've had one winning season. But anybody who knows me also blame on Derek. A top even 15 defense in the league. Every year, the Raiders' defenses have been ranked 25th or lower in total defense. Not going to win many games and help your quarterback out at all when your defense can't stop nobody. I don't care how many points you put up on the board. So with that being said, a lot of pressure is on John Gruden and Derek Carr this year to get the Raiders into the postseason. We retooled the defense. We got a new defensive coordinator who I personally think will work wonders for us. He's a proven commodity in Gus Bradley. He built the Legion of Boom in Seattle. He's had great defenses for the Chargers the last few years, or at least very good defenses for the Chargers the last few years. I don't want great because they didn't win many games themselves. But his defense is at least finished in the top 10 in total defense, etc. So now, if Derek Carr wants to play till he's 45, like Tom Brady openly said that if the Raiders were to get rid of him, he would not play for any other team. Which is why they're very, very, very going to play his entire career as the Las Vegas Raiders. And as much as me as a fan of Derek Carr, as a staunch supporter of Derek Carr, wants to see that happen, if we do not win, especially this year, if we do not get to the playoffs, Derek Carr will not be our quarterback next year. Especially if the defense performs. If the defense improves, but we still miss the playoffs, Derek Carr will not be our quarterback next year. And why this topic is so interesting is because Derek Carr has even went on record saying himself, if he's not playing for the Raiders, he won't play for anybody else. And I genuinely believe that. I do. I genuinely believe that. And I genuinely believe this. If Derek Carr wanted to, he could have went into Carr up to this point anyway. Derek Carr, it's gonna come back to haunt us. But you got to win games. And if Derek Carr wants to play till he's 45 like Tom Brady, well, it's safe to say, Mr. Carr, you got to drive us right into the playoffs this year, buddy. If this defense improves, even if they improve, okay, so let's say if the Raiders don't crack top 10 in defense, but they're top 15. Well, that's easily a 10 to 13 spot bump from the previous seasons. You easily improved your defense by 10 to 12 ranking spots. That's a big, massive improvement. And if we still miss the playoffs, and that happens, if defense takes that leap, they don't got to crack the top 10, but crack the top 15. Move up 12, 13 ranking spots than what you've been in the last couple years. Is a considerable jump to where the Raiders, especially their offense, gets better. We averaged almost 30 points a game last year. Still have room for improvement. If the Raiders can average the same amount of points or more, and this defense is improved, there should be no reason why the Raiders will play. I will say that Derek Carr will not be playing until he's 45, in my humble opinion, if he don't win and get us to at least the playoffs this year. Got to get us to the playoffs. And I only say that because he's the man who said he'd retire if he's not a Raider. Well, I'm telling you now, if we don't win this year, if we don't get to the playoffs at the very least, Derek will be fine because he will be retired, because I have a feeling if we don't make the playoffs, we're going to get next season. You know, that's just the truth of the matter. You got to win. He wants to play till he's 45, and I'm not saying he's not physically capable to do so. With the way the league is nowadays with protecting the quarterback, I think he can do so. But will it be as a Raider, a place that he said he never wants to leave, that if he does leave, he will retire, or if he gets traded, he will retire? Well, if he doesn't win, pressure is on big time, and he don't win this season, Derek Carr will not be playing until he's 45, because he's went on record saying, if I am not a Las Vegas Raider, if I get traded or if I get released, anything to makes me I am not no longer a Las Vegas Raider, I will quit football. Now, was he bluffing? That remains to be seen. But me, genuinely, as a Raiders fan, I genuinely believe that if we don't win this year, and we do end up getting rid of Derek Carr, because that's what's going to end up happening. If we do not make the playoffs this year, we will get rid of Derek Carr. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. He'll be the scapegoat, especially if the defense improves and we don't make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, and he already said that he doesn't want to play for any other team, and we get rid of him, well, how's he expect to play until he's 45 like Tom Brady? Can't. And you're going to stand behind the fact that if the Raiders get rid of you, you're going to retire. So that's my take on this topic, guys. Hit the comment section. I want to know your take on this topic. Do you guys think that Derek Carr has the capability, with the NFL trending in the direction of protecting the quarterback, et cetera, you know, the quarterback's not taking too many hits? Do you think physically he can play till he's 45, barring any, you know, other injuries, severe injuries, et cetera? Because he did break his leg in 2016. But barring any other serious injuries, do you guys think that Derek Carr can play till he's 45 like Tom Brady? If he does, do you think it will still be in a Las Vegas Raiders uniform if we don't win and miss the postseason again this season? Because keep in mind, Derek Carr said if he's not a Raider, he will quit football. Well, as a Raider fan, I'm telling you guys, if we don't make the playoffs this year, Derek Carr will not be our call. The comment section, I want what you guys think. Now, if Derek Carr, if we do go to the playoffs and we continue to have success, Do you guys see Derek Carr playing these? That's why we're starting to see more of that in the league. Drew Brees is retired at what, 42 years old? So as long as the body can hold up, it's not impossible. But it's all about winning games, and that's what he definitely is. Because he's the same guy that quoted saying, "Oh, if the Raiders get rid of me, I'll quit football." Well, you can't expect to play to your 45 if the team you've been on for all your career finally dumps you and you don't want to play for anybody, so you're going to quit football. You're not going to be playing till you're 45. Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this topic. We're going to take a short break, and I will be right back. And when I get back, we're going to cover boxing news. Got some interesting topics coming out of boxing. All right, we are back once again. This is another episode 717 Sports Chat Live, and I'm your host, Marcus J. We then already went through the NBA and the NFL topics that I had covered for today. When I trim down these videos, I will be posting them in my content section, so you'll be able to check those topics out. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the topics that I covered in today's NBA and NFL news after this video. But now we're going to move on to some boxing news. Well, it's kind of MMA news, but they're boxing. UFC legends Anderson Spider Silva and Tito Ortiz, the Huntington Beach bad boy, are set to box on September 11th. Oh, man. This is definitely a shock. Didn't see this one coming. I mean, I knew Silva. Silva did just get done fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and he actually beat him shockingly, given that fact. I mean, Cesar Chavez Jr. is, not that great of a fighter or boxer, really was himself, but the fact that he's been in boxing for a long time, it was, a shocking performance and a shocking victory. With that being said, we are now set for September 11th. Two MMA legends will enter the squared circle. No kicks, no wrestling, nothing to what they're used to. They're going to be straight punching, straight boxing, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, I mean, good for them. It's a money fight. It's where the money's at. These guys, it's not like these guys have been retired for a while. These guys are still active, still competing, still in shape. So it should make for an interesting fight between two veterans. I'm going to give the edge to Silva because I just think Silva's a way better boxer, was always a way better striker, always a way better boxer-type MMA striker than Tito. Tito was a wrestler. Tito was known for his destroying ground and pound, picking you up, slamming you on your head, and in the octagon and his precise straight punches. So I'm giving the edge to Anderson Silva. I'm giving the big edge to Anderson Silva. I think he's going to pick Tito apart. Now, obviously, he can't let Tito touch him because Tito does have power. He's a big, strong guy. So, but, I'm not opposed to this. They're both active guys. It's not like Tito when he fought Chuck Liddell in an MMA match because Chuck was retired for how long? And didn't fight for how long and just looked terrible. Tito is still active. Even if it was just MMA, he's still active. Just like Silva. He's been active. He's, he was active up until what? Last year in MMA? He retired. And then he fought this year in boxing against Cesar Chavez. So is this a surprise? Yeah, I definitely didn't see him fighting Tito Ortiz, of all people, next, especially after he already fought a boxer and proved he can fight a veteran boxer and beat him. So I was assuming that maybe Silva would fight another boxer. But yet, here we are. We got two MMA guys. Let's play some up in boxing. I like it. I'm a fan of both of these guys. Anderson Silva is my favorite MMA fighter of all time. Of all time, that's my favorite MMA fighter. Him and Rampage Jackson. So I'm not opposed to this fight. And I'm a fan of Tito, too, just because Tito was an incredible MMA fighter, incredible wrestler, terrific ground and pound. He's a fighter. These are two throwback fighters, and now they're duking it out in the boxing ring. They're both coming in shape. They're not rusty, out of shape. Injured. And they, but I actually like this fight as a nice little exhibition type event. I'm all for it. But I want to know what you guys think. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz mixing it up in a squared circle. How do you guys feel about it, and who do you guys have winning? You guys have Silva? Do you guys agree with me that Silva will pull it off? Because his elite striking and his experience already into boxing, already done beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? Or do you think that Tito might surprise everybody and his boxing will be a little bit better and he'll be able to have some success and do some damage to Silva, being that he is a big, strong guy and he passed on Anderson Silva versus slated for September 11th. And I'm not mistaken, that should be on a Triller card. That sounds like a Triller type card. That like button and subscribe as well. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. As well, and this is just by choice, if you want to make a donation and contribution to the show, hashtag MJW62089 is the cash tag. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. But as I said, donations are completely optional. You don't have to make a donation if you do not choose to. But if you want to make a donation to the show, make a contribution to the show, hashtag MJW62089 is the hashtag, is the donation link. You can also find that in my YouTube description on the far right of my photo, as well as in my link in my About section as well. And some of you may ask, oh, what are donations for? You know what I mean? Donations will go towards making the show better camera work, getting better background setup, better background equipment, etc., improving the stream by getting better software, etc., get more sports show. If you want to make a contribution, hashtag MJW62089 is hashtag. But don't forget to smash that like button. Is greatly appreciated. And we are going to be moving on to the next topic here in boxing. This Saturday on August 14th at 10 p.m., as you see in the background layer of this overlay, live on Showtime Boxing, we have Guillermo Rigondeaux fighting for the WBO Bantamweight World Championship. Against Casimiro, you see in the background layout, these two were mixed in the Bantamweight World Championship fight. A lot of people have Casimiro slated to win this fight based on he's a strong puncher. Pressure. Thing about that was exciting because he background supposed moved up. Since he's moved back down to the bantamweight division, etc., he's been on a winning streak, and as well as his fights have been a lot more entertaining. So this is why there's a little bit more hype than usual around a Guillermo Rigondeaux fight. For the simple fact is, his last two fights have been a little bit more exciting, and plus the style fighter that. So I expect fireworks. I think this is going to be a really, really good fight. But I just think this is going to be a really, really good fight. I think that Burgundial, at his advanced age, I do have John Riel Casimero winning this fight. I do. I think strength and the fact that Guillermo cannot move like he used to will play a big part in the downfall of Guillermo Burgundial. I just think that the fact that he can't move the way he used to against a guy who's a killer like this young man is, and power being able to withstand that onslaught. But I could be wrong because Burgundial still does have the skill, and he has shown that his left hand, now that he's sitting down on that shot, instead of just as opposed to flickering it off the jab just to score points and, and coming back. Now that he's actually sitting down and planting on that left hand, he's shown that he has dynamite in that left hand. So, even with that experience, I could be wrong that Burgundial could lose this fight and will get pummeled in this fight. I could be wrong, but I'm going to still stick with my prediction. I'm going John Riel Casimero by 6-round knockout. I just think it would be too overwhelming. But I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys got who you guys got in this Showtime main event this upcoming weekend between Guillermo Burgundial and John Riel Casimero. Do you have the veteran Burgundial turning back the clock and capturing the WBA Bantamweight World Championship? Or do you have Casimero showing his youth and retaining his title and powering through the aging Burgundial? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this fight. And that is David Bell. Unfortunately, his comeback fight for August 28th has been postponed because he has contracted the COVID-19 virus. A very unfortunate situation for Benavidez, being that he has been inactive, and also he has dealt with weight issues getting down to 168. So this is just not just the fact that he's contracted COVID is the interesting story here. The interesting story is how will his body react to it after once he's obviously healed from, getting rid of COVID. Because a lot of athletes COVID does take it to a wear and tear on your body. So it's going to be interesting to see what this does to David Benavidez' body going forward. Because this is also so it's going to be real interesting to see how bad he has this COVID and how bad it's going to affect him. Will this prompt him to move up to 175? If his body isn't responding to getting down to 168 after having this, depending on the severity of it, we shall remain and see. But David Benavidez, super middleweight world champion, is out of his scheduled August 28th fight, battling COVID-19. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Benavidez after contracting COVID will return to 1-8, or do you think that just say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to put my body through the stress any more stress that I've already been putting it through fighting at 168. Now that I've had COVID, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get back down in weight anyway. I should just move up to 175. Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that David Benavidez having COVID will prompt him to move to light heavyweight instead of thinking about cutting all that weight to get back down to 168? Because keep in mind, he's had weight issues getting down to 168 already pre-COVID. So do you think that him now having COVID is all going to make the difference for him to finally say, okay, I'm going to move up to 175. I'm not going to put my body through the stress of getting down to 168 anymore? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. That's a bit of boxing topic news that I have for you today. All right, we're going to move on to some MMA news, but before we're going to take a quick break. All right, and we are back once again. This is 717 Sports Live. I'm your host, Marcus J. We have already covered the NBA, NFL, and boxing news for today, and we are on our last part of this video, and that is the MMA news that I have. Two quick subjects we're going to breeze by real quick. MMA veteran Ray Sosa has decided to hang up his gloves and retire from the sport of MMA. It's a long, pretty career. Unfortunately, Ray didn't win any titles in the UFC, but he did put on a lot of memorable performances. Was a really solid fighter. I mean, very entertaining fighter. That's definitely what he will be. Remember, day record with a 6-10 middleweight division. He did not win any titles in the UFC, but he out by the UFC middleweight champ. champion. But unfortunately, in the UFC, wasn't able to. It was nonetheless a successful career. Shout out to Ray Sosa for an incredible career. You know what I mean? Put on a lot of exciting fights, a lot of incredible moments, and hopefully he finds something that he loves to do in his second life outside of MMA. Maybe we'll probably even join the broadcast booth. A lot of those guys tend to do that. But hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Ray Sosa retiring. Do you guys like the decision for Ray to retire, or do you think that Ray had more to offer and that he should have gave it one more run? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about Ray Sosa retiring. Now we're on our last part of MMA news. And that is Sean Brady out of his scheduled fight with Kevin Lee, and now Daniel Rodriguez has stepped in to face in to fight Kevin Lee. Unfortunately, Sean Brady had to pull out. That was more of an intriguing fight, between him and Devin Lee, kind of, somewhat of a crossroads fight, especially for Kevin Lee, a guy who had opportunity after opportunity to finally break through as that big star at the UFC. Kind of hoped that he would when he came in, and he kind of hasn't lived up to them expectations, So this was pretty much a crossroads fight between him and Sean Brady, and unfortunately, Sean Brady is going to be out of this fight. But now we have Daniel Rodriguez stepping in to face Kevin Lee. So what I want y'all to do in the comment section, let me know what you think about now Daniel Rodriguez stepping in to face Kevin Lee. Who do you guys have winning this fight, and how will it be by knockout decision? Hit the comments. Let me know what you guys think about Daniel Rodriguez stepping in on short notice to face Kevin Lee now that Sean Brady is out. All right, and that's it for me, guys. We're going to wrap up here a little bit early. On that, I'm probably going to end up switching the shows to a more nighttime schedule. It just seems more fitting. For the simple fact is, we have news coming in all day for sports, etc. You know what I mean? So I would like to, capitalize on that and maybe go on a later time. And also it would give me more time to do other things for the show, maybe do some clips, etc., get more other content instead of just doing the show. So I will be having updates here soon about scheduling rechanges. When I went to full time doing this, I wanted to do it from 5:30 to 7:30. It just seems more better if I maybe do it from maybe like 8 to 10, etc. I will be having you guys with updates here soon, especially to my 18 subs. We will be doing a subscriber contest here very shortly. I will have all that information out here shortly. This is another episode of 717 Sports Chat Live. I'm your host, Marcus J. Evening.